He's not just coming off the edge, kind of. He's playing linebacker too, so it's going to be hard to just key on him, coming off the edge and things like that. He's playing all over the field, so that would be good for opposing offenses to not be able to just key on him and things like that.
How has he adjusted to inside linebackers? Has it been a pretty seamless transition for him?
Yeah, I think he's adjusted really well. I mean, inside linebacker is a hard position to play. I think it's the hardest position to play on the field because of communication and things we have to do. But he's done a really good job.
What have you seen out of Braden Swinson and just like what he brings to this defense?
Yeah, Swin is a great pass rusher. I'll say that. This fall camp, he's had a lot of sacks and things like that. Ball disruptions are what we call them. He's been having a really good camp off the edge and things like that. I think in our third down package, he'll have a very key impact on what we do.
What makes him so effective at that position?
I think he's a smart pass rusher. I think also he has a lot of power. And he's a bigger guy, but he's not slow. He can move and things like that. So I think him being able to come off the edge with Perk and all those other guys, it just creates another guy that could get a one-on-one and he can win.
You mentioned the word ball disruption. Does that like include pressures and like what does that mean exactly? Other if it's not just sacks.
So ball disruptions are what Coach House calls we can't obviously sack the quarterback and things like that. So when we get close to the quarterback, we go like this. That's a ball disruption, like a game changer. It's basically like a game changer. It impacts the game. That's what a ball disruption is.
It really does seem like the last several practices, communication between the linebackers and the secondary it's improved, and you guys are making a lot more plays than 7-on-7, 11-on-11. Just can you talk about the development of the secondary and how you guys are communicating with those guys?
Yeah, I just think the familiarity is getting a lot better. Beginning the fall camp, there were a lot of guys, new faces out there and things like that. I just think we're getting familiar with each other and more comfortable in the scheme and things like that. So I think that's why we're making more plays out there.
There's been a clear motive on offense to add more versatility, but it looks like the defense is adding a bunch of guys that can fit all around. What does that do to the defense?
It makes it very interchangeable, I would say. Like what I was saying earlier, I think Coach House does a good job of putting each guy in a spot where they can succeed because we have a lot of guys and a lot of depth right now. So I think each guy can bring something different to the defense.
You started 25 straight games. Is that a pride point for you, just like being durable, always being there?
Yeah, I think so. I try to come in every day, and even if I'm hurt, I try to push through and things like that. But durability is very important. So I try to play as much as I can, and I was happily able to play every game last year.
Did the weight loss, has it helped you be more?
Yeah, it's helped me a lot. I'm moving way better, running faster, being able to move better and get sideline to sideline better. I think it's really impacted my game in a good way.
Is there anything to having like the same staff for 2 years in a row and just the consistency of that for y'all?
I think it's really important, especially on defense, because having a new staff on defense, you have to learn a whole new defense and different verbiage and things like that. So I think us having the same verbiage and guys coming back, being able to help young guys and things like that, I think is really important.
It feels like you were like stacking the box a little bit more today with bringing those safeties down. Is that a package that we're going to see a little bit more this year?
I think it's a lot of packages we can go to, honestly. Coach House has a lot of things in and things like that, so you'll see everything, honestly.
How easy has the transition been? You guys are replacing a whole new cornerback room again with new guys. They're a little bit younger this time around, I think just for continuity so you guys can have them around for a few years. But how have you seen that room really kind of come together the last week or so?
Yeah, the older guys like Deuce and Zai, I think they've really come along. I hope the young guys like Ashton are coming along too. And so I just think each day everyone's getting better, especially in the cornerback room. And I think they're getting more familiar with the defense and things like that. That's why I think more plays are being made.
We talked a little bit with Greg yesterday about forcing turnovers. Has that been an added emphasis in the summer?
Yeah, it's been a great emphasis. Last year we didn't get off the field on third down and we didn't create enough turnovers. So going into this year, there's a big emphasis on what we want to do.
What are some things you're doing to improve in those areas?
It's just like in practice, making sure we get after the ball, try to get strip sacks, try to get the ball out when running backs are running, attacking the ball in there, getting picks, things like that.
You're facing this deep running back room the other side. What have you seen from them? Like, who has stood out to you?
That whole room has really stood out. Those guys rotate almost every play, so it's hard to really key in on one guy in that room. I think each guy is really good. I don't know who's going to be the guy, but I think they each can bring something different. They're
How does it
moving
make
around.
like your job more difficult to see so many different running backs?
Yeah, because you can't really just hone in on one guy and figure out what each guy does. They have like, I don't know, it's like 8 of them. So it's kind of hard to just focus on one of them.
What has been your impression with the tight ends? Just seeing the young guys running around and covering them in practice a whole lot.
Yeah, I think they have a really good room. The depth is way better in that room this year. And I think each guy brings something different in that room. They have blockers, guys that can go up and get it, guys that are fast guys that are strong, things like that. So I think each guy in that room brings something different, which is good.
And being a veteran, what have you really seen from like the freshmen like Witt and Christian and guys like that? What advice have you really been giving them throughout fall camp?
Just telling them to keep going. You're going to make mistakes, especially as a freshman. You're going to have mental errors and things like that. But just keep attacking each day, keep getting better. My freshman year, Damone Clark stayed on me, told me to keep doing that. So I just try to be what Damone was to me to those younger guys.
Damone talked about you like as a future All-American. Like he was like sort of saw, I think, maybe some of himself in you at that stage in terms of your progression. Where do you feel like, I don't know, what was kind of your relationship with him and what did you learn from him?
I learned so much from him. I still talk to him today, probably almost every day, honestly. But just like Damone, he always told me about his career was kind of up and down. He told me his junior year he got benched and things like that. Then he came back for his senior year and really just locked in and took off. So, I mean, he just told me you're going to go through things. It's going to be adversity. You just got to fight every day and just keep attacking. Just don't give up, things like that.
Where have you seen like the biggest jumps in improvement in yourself from last year to this year?
I would probably just say my maturity and just doing whatever the team needs me to do. I mean, being unselfish, being an older guy, I'll be a junior this year, so just being important to the young guys, being a good example and things like that. And like I said, I focus on my nutrition this offseason, so I feel like I'm moving way better and I'm a lot quicker.
Let's go 2 more questions, you guys.
Do you feel like you're faster?
Yeah, for sure.
When you say you focused on your nutrition, were you cutting weight or what were you kind of working on there?
Yeah, I was cutting weight. I probably lost about 12 to 13 pounds this off season, so I've lost a lot of weight and try to build it up with muscle throughout the season and throughout the off season. So, I mean, I feel way better.
Can I ask one more? Okay. Sorry if you've already been asked this, but just the versatility you'll have at linebacker, it seems like, Omar and Perk can come off the edge and y'all can move guys around, even bring Brooks into the box and Major in the box. Like, what is the level of, I guess, what does that allow y'all to do defensively and Coach House to do defensively? Because he loves to be multiple. So, what are y'all able to do maybe more of than you did last season?
I feel like we can do a lot more things this year just because of the depth and versatility we have. Like I was saying, Coach House puts each guy in different spots to help them be successful because I feel like everybody's good at something. Everyone has a different skill set. So Coach House does a good job of things like that, and we're very versatile, and we can basically do anything we really want to do with the guys we have and the personnel we have.
You feel like he's experimenting right now, or does he know what he's doing? He's testing things like that.
I don't know. That's a question for him.
All right, guys. Appreciate it.